And we are in game number 1, guys. You need to be faster with that. Yeah, I cannot do it anymore. So, option 1, Leary. Option 2, the Viper. It's gonna be islands. And for the civilizations, Leary's playing with Vikings up in the north, while the Viper, he's got Italians down the south. For the civilization bonuses, up in the north, we'll see the Leary gets with Vikings 15, 20, and 20% cheaper Navy units in the feudal, castle, and imperial ages, as well as free wheelbarrow, free handcart, and then 20% extra HP on infantry units. For the team bonus, their dogs come in 15% cheaper. Who picked islands? I think it might have been Leary. Actually, let me take a look at that really quickly. It was Leary, yes. Interestingly enough. I mean, it's the neutral one, so I guess they had to go for water map no matter what. But yeah, it was Leary's choice, I think. Want to kill that player? Well, you might see them die, but won't be by you killing them, that is. Oh, crap! Sorry. 1 minute. I'm sorry. I am back. Let's keep on going. We're just going to go 2x to try and catch up. It's not like we are going to miss much of anything, so it's fine. And yeah, I was just done talking about Leary civilization, right? So let's take a look at Viper Civ first. We'll see for Italians then, a 15% discount on fishing ships, a 15% discount to go up to the next stage. We have in addition to that, for Italians, a 20% discount on gunpowder units, as well as 33% cheaper upgrades for universities and docks. While for the team bonus, they get access to condottieri from the barracks in the Imperial Age, and we are catching up already. It's fine. You're not getting away with that so easily? What? I said a minute. Now, I just forgot that I had some water boiling. When the previous set was done, I just went during the interview to put some water to boil for my tea. And then I forgot about it. So I couldn't wait for this game to be over before going and checking, so I just needed to go and turn it off. And since I was there already, I just put it in the thermos and put the tea in it. Yeah, it's just tea. No worries. I just had forgotten about it, so it was going to dry out, basically. It was going to boil out if I waited until the end of the game. And then I wouldn't have enough time to make tea in between games 1 and 2. There is not enough time for the water to boil. Oh, the Viper, though! We are completely caught up, guys! And the Vipers landed with some units on the left-hand side. Leary is just playing standard over here. And let's take a look at the line of sight of the bull player. He's got no idea about this. He doesn't know anything of the Viper. He could potentially go for the tower over here. He could potentially go for so many things. Here we go. It's got 2 villagers. So he's in a pretty good spot. If we take a look at what he could go for, potentially, we could see a tower come up. He's getting some scouting information. Take a look at this as well. Didn't he see the transport though? We'll take a look at that. But certainly, Leary doesn't seem to be behaving as if he was aware of this. Although he might have spotted the scout over there, I'm not 100% sure. He hasn't really spotted the transport ship by the looks of it, no. Yeah, and you know, the Viper, if he plays his cards right, is getting some archers out. He's got to be patient over here though, and do not send them out too early. But we could see potentially a tower up over here, push the bull player away from here, and then use the archers to keep on roaming around and try to push Leary away from the rest of the resource. Meanwhile, the Viper is going for some navy as well, but it's going to be pretty difficult. And we see the archers over here coming out without fletching though. They won't be able to take the villagers down, although we might see one going down. The Viper's blocking the villager over there. We're going to see a villager go down for the bull player. Not quite. And that was so close. The Viper ends up getting pushed away over here by the TC, and now he's going to end up losing the villager, and that is huge for Leary. a very swift reaction. Does not take a single loss. Now, that might actually not be the case, though. The Viper was trying to bait the villagers with the scout, with the weak scout. Try and force Leary to commit, and he does not get a villager down because of it. Still no fletching for the red player, though, and only 3 archers over here. It seems like he's probably going to end up getting pushed away. But what a great game already to begin the series with. There we are. The archers are going to survive for the time being, but of course, Leary, you take a look at his economy, you take a look at his position. He's got full water control, I would say. And then on top of that, okay, Viper's going forward. Might be able to get the fishing ships down over here. I don't think it's going to matter. Leary has already managed to collect almost enough resources to go up to the castle age. And the Viper's really struggling to make anything happen with the archer range over here. What did the Viper talk to front? He was not... I don't think he was necessarily planning on giving up on water. He did go for a few fire galleys over here. Perhaps he was hoping for a stronger land reaction from Leary, or maybe he was thinking he was going to be the only one going for Navy in the end. I'm really sure. It took some time for him to get the archer range units out, so it wouldn't make sense for him to think that, I think. Oh! Very nice unit control over here for Leary. But yeah, he could potentially have gone for a dock on the back. And in the end, though, Leary's villager goes down over here. He's lost the most eco unit so far, as Viper is taking the fishing ships down still, while targeting the villages. Now he's got fletching, so he'll be able to get the villagers down. Well done. And he was so close from having enough resources to go up to the castle age, and now that is not the case anymore. Here we are, up in the north. We see more archers coming out from the Viper. Starting to pull ahead in eco count by a lot. He doesn't even need the tower that I was suggesting earlier. In the end, just the archers will suffice. Ends up forcing some extra defenses for Leary over here, but nothing that's going to prevent the Viper from still putting pressure. And he still keeps one villager alive over here. If he plays his cards right, given the fact he's got 2 skirmishers over here to fight with, should be able to take on Leary's units. So Leary is going to turn around, try to fight. But the Viper's in a much better position, should be anyway. Here we are. Beautiful Leary pushes the Viper away. But the Viper has already managed to get a nice lead in worker count. Now going out to the castle age, the Viper's got a head start to it, while Leary has been kind of hovering close to the resource he needed to click up, but has so far been unable to do too much. Viper needs a 4 stable. I believe he still has the 4 villager, right? He had it earlier. Yes, the villager's over here. He's got a transport ship over the left-hand side, and Leary. Well, Leary is, for as much as he is aware of this, he is getting water control. He's got a transport ship coming up as well, so we'll see a counter land. But of course, he doesn't really know about this one from the Viper. The Viper will be able to go for extra navy. He's got fire galleys on the way. And Leary will be able to go for longboats once he gets to the castle age, but for the time being, it's just going to be a little bit better for the Viper once he gets the war galley upgrade, until longboats become available. Oh yeah, he's got the stable over here, true. Got the 1 scout, full HP. Not too much else in terms of land aggression. I guess he used the transport ship probably to have the archers move past the walls, right? Yeah, but Leary's already got a skirmisher over here. So what is the Viper going for? He's got crossbowman and Balking arrow upgrades on the way. Right now, only 5 archers though. All of them on the right-hand side. And then there's a War Galley upgrade coming out for the Viper. As well, fire ships. Remember me while Leary. Leary gets to the castle age and he doesn't need to research anything to go for longboats. Good unit control for Leary so far, dodging the arrows. The left-hand side, he's going to go for a siege workshop, which I love to see. Meanwhile, back home, he's got the second TC. So the Viper will end up, by the looks of it, getting water control. Leary doesn't seem to be interested in going for longboats or anything over here. So the Viper's getting ahead in every single regard. He's got the only pressure in the game with these crosses forward, and we'll see the crossbowman take a villager down over there for sure. Leary's unit control is very good still though, manages to save the villagers, but won't be able to keep those units working so long as the crosses are here anyway, and the Viper should still be in a pretty good spot. Besides that, the red players got the second TC already up and the third TC on the way, and Leary transports some units himself. He's roaming around, gonna try to get some villagers down over here. The Viper's still ahead though by quite a lot, about 6 extra workers at this point in time compared to Leary. The Viper's reaction over here is not super quick, but will be fast enough to prevent taking any losses. And then of course, there's not just the only things, these are not only the only things that are going in favor of the Viper. And by the way, oh my lord, Leary ends up losing all the crosses over there. But also, the Viper is the only player with Navy units right now, so Leary's kind of dropping the ball over here. At the very least, is unable to keep up, and the Viper's pressure has caused enough commotion around Leary's base to get an equal lead, right? Got the economy time so far significantly higher for the Viper, yes sir, by about half an hour. So that's certainly been game changing for both these players. The siege workshop already out. The Viper starting to put pressure over here. Leary's got the first mangonel coming out. Here we go. So far, Viper seems to be the very strong grip in this game. And Leary, well, he tries to chase one of the manas away from the Viper. Keeps on losing HP on the TC, and the Viper, if he's paying attention, should be able to move this one away. Ah, that is a little bit sloppy though. He should have known Leary was not chasing him anymore. He was certainly going back. Hyper still has the villager, by the way. Beautiful, and in the end, Leary's gonna be kind of out of water. He's got the one dock on the right-hand side. Is this a transport ship? Yes. Transport ship over here for the Viper still. Are we gonna be making use of any of these just yet? Nice. There we go. I'm gonna go and jump from Leary. The Viper's got a knight over here, going after the Mangonel. The bull player, and that is a great shot from Leary. And in the end, he's able to keep the Mangonel up over here with the TC. Took the knight down. Now there's a landing on the right hand side though from Leary. He's bringing a few extra units. He's got the crossbows. He's got the siege workshop up. Very even trade so far. Here we are, 1 for 1. And we'll see Leary bring the crossbows around. He is behind by a lot though. 31 extra eco units for the Viper. Should represent a very substantial lead so far. And Leary's got a lot to catch up for. Interestingly enough, the Viper's not really been going for much of anything. Just been putting pressure over here with the Manos, and then he's just been banking on his TCs to get extra economy up. So he's just playing this one for the late game. Or at the very least, seems like he's playing this one at the very least to go up to the Imperial Age earlier, but it's always going to be tough against Vikings, which is why he keeps on putting pressure over here. And we'll see the crossbows though. They make it into the wall line. The Viper realizes about this. Those are 3 villagers to the crossbows from Leary. But not anymore. No more, no less. Might we see the 4th villager over here? Might see it. The Viper's going for a defensive castle. Just going to provide some great defenses. But still a few villages will go down over here. The Viper did not realize about these guys. Here we go. Beautiful. Looking pretty good for the Viper still though. His villager lead and his gather economy time over here against there is still significantly higher. So if he can clean this up, and it shouldn't be too difficult so long as the Viper pays attention over here. Notice how he's garrisoning the weak villages as well, reducing the ram down to half HP, and Leary's gonna keep on putting pressure over here. But so long as the Viper is able to hold on over here, he's still going to be fine. He still has a much stronger economy because of the extra gather economy time. And so far, the KD has been better for the Viper as well by quite a lot. You see the Mangle coming over there, and the unit control for Leary is good. Oh, but good Mangle shot right there. The Viper's got just the 1 Mangle. Notice, we'll see just the Mangle putting pressure down south over here, actually defending down south for the Viper, which means he's not really putting pressure up in the north anymore. We'll see the just the 1 knight from the Viper get to the wool line over here, Leary, and he'll probably end up taking a lot of villages down over here. Although the crossbows will eventually clean out the knight as well. It's not too bad. Just 1 villager goes down over there for Leary, and the Viper. Well, the Viper doesn't really have anything left over here, I think. Does he even have a villager? What happened to the woman? She died, most likely, right? Yeah, the woman died. Still though, Viper, with the strongest economy, will be the first player to go up to the Imperial Age, while Leary, not even close, despite playing with Vikings over here. This is such a strong game for the Viper so far. Absolutely amazing. Yeah. Imperial is on the way now for the Viper as well. The one must be in Valhalla right now. Well, the Viper is not playing Vikings, but he is a Viking himself. Doesn't mean that all his villages in the game are always Viking, no matter what civilization he picks in the end. Might be the case. A lot of units right there for the Viper. Only about a minute or so before he gets to the Imperial H eventually. Meanwhile, Leary on the other hand. Yeah, not really looking the best right now. He's managed to get the second TC up and he's getting a nice work account, but compared to the Viper, still going to be so little. Here we go. Imperial H is here for the Viper. And Leary's not going to resign. No, he's on his way to the Imperial H already. As a rule of thumb, you don't expect players to call the GG if their opponent gets to the Imperial H if they are either on their own way to the Imperial H or if they are very, very close to clicking out themselves and they are not under any immediate danger or immediate pressure. If the Viper was putting pressure over here with a bunch of crossbows and then had gotten a castle up already and then he gets to the Imperial H and Leary is not on his way up yet, then yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see Leary call the GG, but given the fact that the Viper is not putting pressure on, you know, Leary's island anymore, and the Leary was with enough resources to click out to the Imperial H himself, we are not really expecting that to be the case. It could still happen, but it's not necessarily what you expect to see. Shipwright's here for the Viper as well. He's got extra docks on the way, and he's just gonna try to make a play for water. It's good. He's got Galleon coming up now. He's got Galleon, and once he gets chemistry, I don't think he's got any yet, right? Does he have a university even? He does. But once he gets chemistry, if he hasn't yet, let me take a look at the castle. He has not gotten chemistry, but once he gets it, he'll be able to go for Cannon Galleon as well. So let's take a look. Right now, though, the Viper's just going for War Galley. Soon to be Galleon is going to try and collect gold at the center as well. It's going to be 6 extra tiles compared to what the players have available back home. And Leary's in a world of pain. How does he come back from this position? It's just so difficult. He's got Stone Castle coming up over here. I guess if Leary gets enough water presence as to prevent the Viper from completely pushing him down or taking him down over here, he could use his navy to protect trebuchets and take the castle down over here and then just try to put some pressure and prevent the Viper from collecting resources. But as things are looking right now, the Viper is gonna be the one pushing Leary away. He's got fast fire ship right now as well, in addition to Galleon, so his military is so strong. And chemistry's on the way, so the Viper will be able to go for Cannon Galleon very soon. And once he gets the castle up, he'll be able to go for his own trebuchets. And actually, I think there might be enough range over here for the trebuchet to unpack on the center island from the Viper and still target Leary's castle. So Leary's just going to call it GG. He gets to the Imperial H though, so it is going to be Imp GG, or actually the GG Imp. But not in the way that we were expecting to see over here. In any case, guys, the Viper won! Leary nil after the first game of the series. We'll take a look at military and see a stronger KD for the Viper, approaching 74. For the economy, we have stronger economy for the Viper as well. As well as for society, a higher villager max count for the Viper. In the end, he ended up losing only about 14 villagers, while Leary ended up losing about 30. So much better for the Viper. Basically, no matter how you slice it, wherever you look, it's just looking better for the Viper. Leary only getting better APM or higher APM, not necessarily better, right? Depends on what he was paying attention to. In any case, the Viper's APM sufficed for him to take game number 1. Well done. And the Viper doesn't seem like he was going for condos. And I don't think he needed to go for condos because with full water control and given how narrow the islands are, yeah, most likely we would see just Cannon Galleon and Galleon putting pressure. And Leary losing everything. But yeah, that is not the case over here. So guys, anyway, game number 2 is here. Switching the Viper over to the red color and starting predictions. For game number 2, you have 5 minutes to predict who you think is going to win. We are going to have Leary in the blue color to keep consistency. And the Viper in the red color to stay consistent with game number 1 as well. And this is Scandinavia. We have seen already there are a few different layout generation options for this map. First off, for instance, we have up in the north Leary with a full river behind his TC, and then down the south we are going to see the Viper with the same situation going on for him as well, with a full river behind his TC. This is in contrast to a different layout generation that we see sometimes where the players kind of spawn on a straight line parallel to the rivers, so they have to make a choice to go for either one or the other. Regardless, we'll see the Leary playing with Mongols. We'll get a very interesting civilization for this map. It could potentially be very strong. Mongols get 40% extra or faster working hunters. They have 30% extra HP, unlike cavalry Hussar and Step Lancer line units, as well as 25% faster attacking cavalry archer type units. And for the team bonus, 2 extra line of sight on scout line units. Meanwhile, the Viper's got Japanese 5, 10, 15, and 20% faster working fission ships, and the Dark Field Castle and Imperial Ages as well. As twice the HP on those units, and +2 Pierce armor. They get the discount on drop of buildings of 50%, so it's only going to be 50 wood for each of these lumber camps, mining camps, and mills. And their infantry units attack 33% faster compared to other civilizations starting in the Feudal Age. For the team bonus finally though, we see Japanese getting 50% extra line of sight on galley line ships. That could actually be very useful on a map like this, because if we see 1 or 2 galleys from the Viper, for instance, and he just patrols along the shoreline, he will have extra vision and he will potentially spot villages coming forward a little bit earlier if he's got the units in the right location. Or he's gonna have to go for a shorter patrol route to spot any forward dogs, right? What are the chances though? Take a look at this! What? What? Leary sending a sneaky villager on the Viper. He was already going for a villager down the south over here to try and get a second dog up, I imagine. And now Leary's going to lose a villager. This is disaster already for the bull player. He's going out to the Feudal Age earlier. He was banking and being the first player with access to Navy units to try and put pressure against the fishing ships. Now, and in the end, the Viper will take the village down over there. He's got a bail from here, but Leary's getting to the Feudal Age, so Viper Scout is going to take 1 extra hit. There we go, and that's about it. Yes, the Viper manages to save the Scout for the time being. Yeah, Leary could have tried a corner, but he's got another villager on the left-hand side, so it was not the only one forward. Yes, he sent one down the south, and it got spotted, got taken down. It's gonna be first blood, by the way. And Leary's going for the Scout! He takes the Scout from the Viper and equalizes the KD. Plus, he does manage to get the dog up. He's going for a second dog right now. And the Viper's got no idea about this. He does not have the Scout anymore, so he cannot really keep on getting any extra vision. Leary is looking great for game number 2. Sure, he's 1 H higher with no fishing ships whatsoever, right? He just rushed the Feudal Age by completely ignoring the water. But if he ends up getting water control over here, then he'll be able to go for fishing ships while the Viper won't. And that's going to be better for Leary in the long run. Right now, I think the Viper's in a much better position. I think these fishing ships have already been collecting enough resources to pay out for themselves and the dog. As a matter of fact, right now, we have about 18 minutes of extra gather economy time over here for the Viper, which is not actually going to be enough to compensate for the dog and the fishing ships. Never mind. But he's getting close. The Viper tried to mass a piece of Scout trapped over there, but couldn't do it. And Leary's gonna keep an eye on what the Viper's going for. And what do we have for the red player? Just the 1 fire galley. Just 1 fire galley, while Leary's got 2 galleys already over here. And the Viper, he's got no idea about that. The longer it takes for Leary to take this down, the more time the Viper is going to have to try and compensate for the cost of the units themselves. There we go. Beautiful. Vision ships are going down now, finally. For the Viper. Has he managed to get enough extra gallery economy time to offset for this? Potentially get a lead? It's 25 minutes. 27 minutes, actually. So let's say, in an ideal world, about 540 resources. The dock's gonna be 150. Then he saved some resources going for the drop-off buildings. And then he had 5 fishing ships at 80 wood each, right? Wait, aren't they 75? I forgot which of the two it was. Yeah, 75. Thought so. Yeah, I would say that it was probably not... Still had not paid off for the Viper. That is true though, Lear did end up investing a lot over there, going for the docks and going for the navy, so in the end it's going to be more cost effective for the Viper because he already managed to kind of pay off for most of the cost of his water economy. While Leary, of course, he ended up spending a lot of resources to get that down, so I think the Viper's fine. The Viper's fine. You're absolutely correct, Arby's. There's a very nice way to put it. Now Leader's gonna start going for fishing ships and he will get ahead in worker count. The Viper is got on the right hand side a sneaky dock as well. Here we are. Beautiful. More fire galleys coming out for the Viper, so he's gonna keep on putting pressure. In forward, he's just got a few archers over here, kind of scattered around, trying to deny some resources from Leary, and Leary's not really suffering by this too much. He's got most of the lumberjacks on the right-hand side, so even if he got pushed away from here, we'll be able to just move the units over to the right-hand side. Instead, it seems like the game has stabilized, and the players will just make a play for the Castle Age. The Viper. It's got a fire galley. Let's see if you realize about this, though. Remember, it's the galley unit that gets 50% extra line of sight. And it's also the galley unit that he will be able to utilize to potentially deny a dock over here. Meanwhile, fire galleys, they cannot target villagers behind the docks. So the Viper is kind of going for the most effective unit from the get-go with a fire galley over here. That's going to be the most effective against navy units, but not the most effective to spot docks from Leary, to prevent docks from coming out for Leary. But in the end, the Viper still manages to rack up enough resources to click out to the Castle Age, and Leary's getting very close. So far, 4 extra workers for Leary. Let's take a look at gallery economy time once again. Looking better for the Viper still. By quite a lot, actually. Managed to increase to 45 extra minutes of gallery economy time. The Viper is going to be on about 7 to 1,000 extra resources collected overall compared to Leary. But I would imagine Leary's going to start closing the gap now that he's got a stronger work account. Castle Age is on the way for the blue player as well. The Viper and Leary, they're both going up. Seems quite clear that Leary's going to end up getting water control on the left-hand side. The Viper, on the other hand, does not seem clear to me that he'll get water control on the right-hand side. So Leary might end up getting full water control, and the Viper could potentially try and make a play for full land economy instead. He's got the stone, for instance, and he's got a very good amount of wood. So once he gets to the Castle Age, wouldn't be surprised to see the red player potentially go for something like a, say, a couple extra TCs. Probably one over... It's very uneven terrain, so it's very hard to find a good location for the TCs. And as a matter of fact, I'm actually struggling to find a good spot. I don't think this will be too good. Maybe over here. So if he went for the TC over here on the left-hand side, he could potentially use this one for this wood, perhaps over there, to lead the house or something, so that he's got his economy kind of expand over to the left, perhaps. But yeah, it's kind of awkward. Okay, never mind. Yeah, he deletes the house and goes for the TC over here, which is going to secure that gold. And gets the TC up on the right-hand side. Now, this is not really providing too much protection because Leary is to bring any range units. The TC is still not going to defend anything, attacking from the other side of the wood line. On the right-hand side, the Viper's holding on to his guns. He's got 2 fire galleys over here. He's got the war galley upgrade earlier, of course, and Leary. Still gotta wait about 25 seconds for it. The Viper's gotta be careful, though. What is he doing? Second TC on the way for Leary. With 3 TCs, the Viper should be in a good spot to get ahead in villager count, even if it will be falling behind in fishing ships. And he should find himself in a pretty decent spot. Yeah, you know, but it's only going to be good until Leary gets to the Imperial Age and is able to start going for Mangodai. Again switch, there is not too much the Japanese will be able to do. So there we go, the Viper. Oh, that was so close! If he had detonated the Demo Raft over there with the Demolition Ship manually, he would have gotten a much better trade, but now it's going to be Leary's turn, and Leary doesn't seem to be paying attention too much, but it's not going to stop him from getting a good shot over there, and bow! 2 fire ships going down right there for the Viper. There we go. I hear a neighbor screaming. I hear a neighbor cursing pretty badly, so I am not too sure what that's about. Anyway, maybe I don't want to know. Hopefully it's just a missed gold attempt. A missed goal attempt from Argentina as opposed to a goal from Mexico. Nothing against Mexico, but, you know, kind of on the ropes over here. Regardless, Leary is going for fishing ships once again. He is still ahead in worker count below the Viper. If he's able to keep all 3 TCs working, he should be able to get ahead in villager count by quite a lot, as we were talking about earlier. Now he's got that cavalry archer come out, might be able to get a village down over there. Oh, that is so close, but he will get the villager. Should be able to. He got it. He got the villager. And Leary takes the cavalry archer down. The unit control of these guys for individual units is just remarkable, given just how much there is to pay attention to in this game. 30C is finally coming up now for Leary as well. There we go. Viper's gonna try to breach through. Fantastic. Wheelbarrow's coming up now. For Leary, while the Viper's got the Siege Russia coming up on the left-hand side. It's gonna start trying to put some pressure against the TC from Leary. We saw that the Viper had earlier about the 45-minute lead against Leary on gather economy time. Let's take a look. Right now, whoa! The Viper's eco is extending quite a lot, actually. With almost a full hour of gather economy time extra compared to Leary. And this gotta be because of Wheelbarrow, I'd imagine, because for everything else they are kind of matched. We have Bozo for both, we have Dalbidax for both, and Leary has only now finished researching Wheelbarrow himself. So the Viper's looking good, you know. Nice mango shot. The monk should be going down. It will. And he was trying to go after the relics by the looks of it. And the Viper, I don't think he's been going for relic control whatsoever, right? Does he have a monastery even? He's got no monastery, no. Another monk over there going down from Leary. 200 resources down the drain already with both those monks going down with two of these mangonels. The Viper's got the hill advantage over here to try and take the TC down. There we are. So long as the Viper plays his cards right, he's got the hill advantage over there. Should be able to get a much better trade. His mangonels are basically full HP. Good. Wow, good mangonel shot from Leary though. Almost completely taking the mangonel down, and two huge mangonel shots from Leary. The Viper now needs to bring the villagers over. He will. He is doing so. No third mangonel on the way though for the Viper. Leary on the other hand, he's got two mangonels and a 1-for-1 trade over there. He's got two mangonels, one mangonel left over here. No extra mangonels coming up anytime soon. Good unit control. Nice shot over there on the Viper. Let's see. Good mangonel shot from the Viper still. Getting the better trades over here. Let's get some cavalry archers on the right hand side. This could be huge. Leary with Mongols does not get redemption. So you cannot convert these units. Meanwhile, the Viper with Japanese Bearing Heresies got everything available. From the monastery, and let's take a look at this. We see a conversion coming up over there from the monk against cavalry archers, and the Viper is trying to bait the monk closer to the walls, but he's not going to be able to. And now Leary's getting the castle up over here. Meanwhile, he's got almost enough resources to click out to the Imperial Age. This is very similar to what we saw in the previous semifinal. Sometimes one of the players is going to be up in the Imperial Age, the other player is going to be stuck in the Castle Age, but in a better position. I would say that's actually what's happening over here. The Viper, in my opinion, is in a much better spot compared to Leary. Yes, even if he's going cavalry archers versus Mongols, because he's got the most military units, the strongest economy right now, the most momentum, and Leary might click out to the Imperial Age, but that's going to come at a cost of resources he could have utilized to keep on defending himself. And if this DC goes down, for instance, then Leary gets pushed away from gold. He's gonna have only this one on the right hand side to collect from. How much is this for, by the way? About 2,400. Here come the cavalry archers trying to go after the mantle over there. The monk cannot really do too much of anything. And whoa! Both these players are going up to the Imperial Age at about the same time. How is the Viper ever managing to get away with something like this? He did not utilize the market. His economy is just so strong. Unbelievable. Incredible stuff. There we are. That TC has been a resource pit for Leary. It's just been so expensive to keep up. He was already behind in gather economy time. That's going to extend to over 2 hours and 15 minutes now for the Viper. And yeah, of course, now Leary might end up just losing the TC in the end anyway. So not the best position for the bull player, and that's a beautiful forward castle for the Viper. Absolutely fantastic. One thing that I really like for this castle position. Oh, the villagers! Careful over there. Yeah, and the position over here is so good for the Viper's castle. He's gonna have the hail advantage over there to work with. And let's see. A counter cast is coming up now for Leary. Is that going to be on time though? Seems like it's going to come up for sure. And the Imperial Age is coming here for both these guys. At about the same time, still the game is neck and neck. There's a second castle on the way now for the Viper as well. Well, I don't know if you heard that, but in the background there was a very, very loud noise. There's a lot of celebrating around. Apparently, there's a goal for Argentina in the match. Because the live stream that I can watch on the internet's got such a massive delay, actually I get spoiled about it, but hey, that's good. That's good. People are actually throwing fireworks right now. Wow, they're setting off fireworks. Interesting. I don't think you're gonna be able to hear any of that though. I have a pretty powerful noise suppression system. Anyway, Leary's going for a third castle over here, and it's very, very important for the blue player to be the one. The good amount of castles because of the Mangodite production. So, the Viper's got the hail advantage over here, which we discussed earlier is going to be extremely important for him, of course. And he's going to go and send the Trebuchet over to the right-hand side so that he can target both these castles at the same time. Of course, not from the get-go, and that is actually not the best location for the Trebuchet, but he's going to target this one up in the north, and that one's going down, guys, very soon. The hail advantage over here is too strong for the Viper. And the castle crumbles, and now Leary, he's got 4 Trebuchets himself, only 6 Mangodite. And yeah, this castle on the right-hand side is getting targeted, so that's going to be 4 Trebuchets with a hail advantage over here from the Viper, taking on the castle from Leary. Meanwhile, Leary's going to get the castle down from the Viper, but the Viper doesn't really care about this too much. He's got conscription coming up from a different castle. He's got another castle coming up on the right-hand side as well, so it's going to be a 2 castles anyway. Meanwhile, Leary's got only 1 castle left, and this one seems like it's going to go down to the Trebuchet very soon. And guys, the game is very, very much favoring the Viper over here, and it's been extremely eventful early on, not so much in the middle, but now it's looking great. You're the only Argentinian who is not watching football. I'm the only Argentinian casting Age of Empires, man. What can I do? This is my livelihood. This is my job. I cannot take a day off to watch football. In the end, though, Leary's gonna be the one to call it GG, guys. As the Viper takes game number 2, he's got 2-0 score over here against Leary, and let's go and take a look. Not complaining, by the way, but I realize now it might have actually sounded like a complaint. In any case, yeah, it's my boss, which is all of you, are not Argentinians. So unlike some of the other Argentinian casters who stream to mostly Argentinian audiences in Spanish, we cannot all just take the day off. Let's take a look at the achievements. This might be very quick, perhaps. We have a stronger KD for the Viper. In the end, it's going to be better than 4-3. If we take a look at economy, it's going to be a stronger economy for the Viper as well. About 9,000 extra resources. Very close to it. Very close to 9,000 extra resources society. It's going to be better for the Viper with a higher villager max count. The fewest villagers lost in the game, he ended up losing 3 villagers, the Viper. While Leary, on the other hand, ended up taking so many more losses. 39 villagers he lost this game. Did you hear your neighbor scream yet? Oh yeah, a while ago. Game number 3 is here. We have Socotra. We might have a lot of action from the get-go. We're gonna once again switch the player colors over to have the Viper in the red color and Leary in the right color. And we'll see from the get-go, Leary's gonna start pushing the Zebras back right away. For these civilizations, and starting with Leary's first, the Saracens are going to have cheaper markets to trade resources for cheaper, 10 extra HP on camel rider units. In addition to that, we also see for the Saracens, for the team bonus, 2 bonus damage against buildings from foot archer units. The Viper instead playing with Chimera will get 10% faster moving battle elephant units. It doesn't seem like anyone's really going to commit to sending villagers forward and try to get any damage done over here, right? Leary's just been pushing Zebras and the Viper. The Viper's gonna be pushing Zebras as well. I think Leary took one of Viper's Zebras, if I'm not mistaken. Hera said in the interview that this was just a save that he can play with. Now Leary picks it too. Yeah. So no way they didn't practice? Definitely no way there is a coincidence, right? But yeah, because the game is pretty uneventful, we are going to make the predictions 5 minutes. You go nuts, option 1, Leary, option 2, the Viper. And yeah, let's keep on going for Viper's bonuses. Besides that, we're gonna see for Khmer, no building requirements. Farmers who do not need mills or TCs to drop food on, and then on top of that, there is the ability to gather some villages inside houses. And for the team bonus, Viper Civilization is going to give him 1 extra range on Scorpion line weapons. Village is coming out for both these guys at about the same time. Still about 4 minutes and a half for you guys to get the predictions going. For who wins game number 3 so far? Viper with the 100% effectiveness against Leary. We could take a look at the map generation as well, a little bit. As we wait for the Fuel H to be here, and taking a look at Leary's map generation first. We're gonna have, yeah, a nice uptime for the Viper for sure. But taking a look at the map generation, we're going to have 1 goal forward for Leary. As a matter of fact, all the goals are kind of exposed, right? This one's forward 2, this one is perhaps not quite as forward as they are side-ish, but they are still very exposed for sure. And then we have stone over there. We have the stone over here. Everything's exposed for him for sure. Meanwhile, taking a look at the Viper's map generation on the other hand, we'll see for the red player that he's got the main goal for, but he's got 1 goal in the back though. So that's actually, this is actually the main goal for him. This one is kind of a secondary goal. So if he's able to get some walls up over here, potentially connecting the wool line to the archer range and something like this, he will be able to secure the goal. He will be able to secure the stone over there, and then an additional goal over a stone over here on the back, as well as the wool lines too. Archery for the Viper, yes. We see the archer range coming up for Leary as well. Both players have made the transition to gold miners already. There we go. It's just so fun to hear the neighbors screaming. What the hell? I have no idea what they're screaming about. My feed is so delayed that so many things happen. And I have no idea what it is that they scream about. Anyway. Yeah, just archers coming out from both guys. Leary, not going for skirmishers yet. The Viper has actually taken the time to go for the skirmisher first, I think. Actually, no, it's the third unit he goes for. Then he starts going for archers once again. But he should be in a pretty good spot over here. Leary's trying to get the walls up. Just going to wall himself up to the wool line over there. And it's going to be fine. He will secure 1 of the golds. And this is so good. This was so exposed as well. That it is great to see Leary take the precautions over here and try to get the walls up. By the way, he's open up in the north. Let's see if Leary realizes about this though. He's got no idea, as is usually the case, and you need to scout, man. You need to scout. The Viper realized about that. He'll be in such a good spot. Imagine he brings all the archers forward, around the back, and into the wool line or into the goal line over here. The Viper is disregarding scouting just as much as Leary's doing. And eventually the players will realize about this. Now whoever realizes first, of course, is going to have the upper hand. Yeah, Leary didn't sell the stone because he wouldn't really have enough resources to do much of anything even if he sold it. Yet. He cannot really afford to go for archers, so wouldn't give him too much. I guess he probably just wants to save it for when he needs it, really, or for when it's going to be more efficient. Oh, this is so good though, the Viper. Traps a scout from Leary. Well done. Well done. The Viper over here on the left-hand side is going to keep on trying to break through. He cannot really do it. So both these civilizations are actually very strong. With Saracens, you're going to get bonus damage against buildings with archer units, right? So we see some archers coming up over here from Leary. Which means palaces usually are not really going to stop Saracen archers. However, the Khmer are so good to defend with because of their ability to gather some village inside houses, so it's very difficult to snipe villages over here. As long as a player playing with Khmer pays attention to their economy, they should be in a much better position in that regard. Now, Leary is selling the stone. There we go. He's got a much stronger economy now because of it. And is significantly closer to having enough resources to go up to the castle age. Meanwhile, the Viper, not so much. Not yet. Not at all. There we go. Viper brought all the units back to defend himself with. Meanwhile, Leary still does not have quite enough to go up to the castle age. The Viper, ditto. Nobody has scouted this yet. Yeah, none of the players is aware of it. There we go. Leary's finally on his way to the castle age. The Viper shouldn't really lag behind by too much, and he will still have a stone once he gets up, which means he could potentially go for extra TCs. And here comes the Viper. That is a scary amount of archers. 10 archers you do not want to see inside your walls. There we are. Now they're just going for the counter push and the Viper. Well, the Viper is not really completely walled off yet, but because of the bonus for the house, it's gonna be fine by the looks of it. Hey, there we go! The red players realizing about this! And Leary's got no idea! The Viper has just found a gold mine over there. This is absolutely beautiful. He's got to bring those archers over there, but he's got to clean this up first on Leary despite having the hill advantage. And being the first player to the castle age, lost his entire army on the back. So he's got only these archers left, soon to become crossbows, but the Viper is significantly ahead in military count over here, or AT. The archer count's the same for both, it's just that the Viper's got some skirmishers. And this is what I want to see, the Viper knows that this is open already. He's gonna wait until he can take advantage of it, as Leary still has not realized about it. See the crossbows coming in from Leary over here already with blocking arrow, and the Viper's gonna have to bail. Doesn't that getting the walls up just in time? Beautiful. And then on the left-hand side, Viper's still putting pressure, but there's so much damage he can do if he just goes around the right-hand side. For the time being, though, he's got to play defensive. Villager going down. There we go. Not enough space in the house. Viper's going to survive for the time being. Very similar worker count for both these guys. Yes. There we are. Nice mango shot. The Viper's just going to walk away. Guessing Knights seems to be the case, and the Viper would actually be able to make use of Knights if he had gone for it. That's exactly what Hera did. The Viper would actually have been able to take advantage of Knights for sure because of the opening over here, but he doesn't really have too many. He's got just the one. He's going for the second one. Meanwhile, he was trying to head that direction, but Leary kind of intercepted his army. So far, KD is favoring the Viper, and if we take a look at gather economy time, it's favoring Leary, which is why it doesn't really matter too much. It's only 4 extra units that the Viper was able to kill, and Leary's economy was already strong enough. Let's see what's able to kind of offset for those units. Let's take a look at that. We already have redemption. So he's trying to convert the Mangonelli. He got it! 2 mountains right now for Leary. And the Viper? The Viper's got a bail from here. And he's in a world of pressure and he's completely unable to take advantage of the opening. Honestly, I don't know if it would be a good idea to actually remove that crossbowman from there, but I guess by the time Leary realized about it, he probably would realize about it being open anyway. But because he's the one putting pressure over here, it might not matter too much, although the Viper, he's going forward now. He's trying to sneak around the left-hand side, and Leary's got vision because of the house over here. He's got another mangle over there. Plus, he's got 2 mangles still left back. Well, let's take a look at that. Conversion comes up, and the Knight gets converted from the Viper over to Leary. The Viper does end up getting a good mango shot over there, but he loses his mango too, so it's going to be 1 for 1. And the red player is just sitting on a gold mine that he is completely unable to take advantage of. Because Leary has been making it impossible for the Viper to get up to the north. We have no extra TCs coming up for anybody, and the Viper seems like he's going to try and make a play for a castle instead. We'll see if he can clean these units up. Let's see. Alright. There's a good man on a shot in the end. The Viper doesn't now get in the better end of the deal over there. Leary will not clearing out these units for the most part, and the Viper, well, Viper's got the crosses over here, trying to get the monks, and he cannot do it! As the Viper runs out of units over here and runs out of options, he is completely unable to take advantage of this beautiful finding up in the north, and Leary's going to win that game number 3. As the Viper calls the GG! And I don't know if you heard that, but there is a huge, huge celebration in the background as well. Everybody's screaming goal. But once again, I do not know about that. Let's take a look at the achievements while I wait for my measly 140p stream to catch up. So it's about a 9 to 8 KD ratio actually. Favoring the Viper. Oh, there we go, the fireworks. Yes. For economy, we have a stronger economy for Leary as well. Collecting about 1,500 extra resources. There we go. I see the goal now. That was like probably a good 30 seconds delay or something. For society, we have actually a very even worker max count over here for both these guys. Although in the end, the Viper was the only player to lose a single villager over here. But yeah, very, very close. Very, very close. Neck and neck throughout the game over here. And they're just going to get the first win over here to potentially start coming back into the series. And there we go. Once again, we're going to be switching player colors here. Leary's going to have the blue color. The Viper is going to have the red color. Taking a look at Leary first with Mayans. He will begin with 1 extra villager. He's got 50 less gold though. 50 less food rather compared to other civilizations at the very beginning. But we'll see for Mayans also. 15% longer lasting resources, as well as 10, 20, and 30% cheaper archer units in the Feudal Castle and Imperial Age as well for the team bonus. Walls are significantly cheaper for them as well. They get a 50%, 40% actually, I think, discount on walls. The Viper playing with Aztecs will get instead villagers can carry 3 extra resources per trip for free. We also have in addition to that for the Viper 11% faster training military units except for monks. Monks instead will get 5 extra HP per each monastery technology research. And for the team bonus, we'll see for the Aztecs 33% faster or extra gold income from relics. Guys, predictions are on for game number 4. So far, the Viper 2-1 against Leary. For the next 4 minutes and 40 seconds, you can use your channel points to predict who you think is going to win. So yeah. Let's see. Let's take a look at the map generation before we move on to the field age. Fireworks are coming off. Is the match over? Anyway, taking a look at the map generation. We're gonna see for the blue player, the main goal kind of forward, the secondary goal kind of towards the south over here. Then we have the main stone on the back and the secondary stone on the left hand side. And there we go. Potential walls like this would basically secure the map for Leary for sure over here. A bunch of the resources, all of these resources. This, right? And wouldn't be too difficult to go for as well. Taking a look at the map generation for the red player instead. Oh, wait a moment though! Leary's going for the 1 militia wolf rush. Yes, sir. Oh, much sober. Thank you. We see the wolves coming over and the Viper, I think, is going to realize about this. Well, he's got no idea. So now he'll see. Take a look at this. The Viper actually walks away. Nice. Now these wolves are going to guard the berries for the most part. You gotta love it. That was a very, very nice wolf rush over here from Leary. And this only delays the Viper a little bit. It's not too bad. The Viper's paying attention, so yeah, he will end up. There we go. Taking the wolves down, and he can still go over here. This is just going to delay. This is just going to delay the Viper a little bit, not too much. Militia's coming forward from the Viper, but he's got 2 instead. This is very interesting as well, because if he ends up getting a villager down or taking it down to very low HP, then he can actually use, or the walls are going to finish the jobs, right? So we see the villager over here being targeted by the Viper. The Viper's going to end up probably losing one of the militias over here to the wolves as well. But we might see the villager go down from Leary. That is so close. The Viper didn't know where Leary's TC was, so he decided to respect the prospect for a TC over there. And we have a counter wall rush over here as the militia goes down from the Viper. Now the wolves are going to target the villagers from Leary, and Leary's going to be able to take these down with the TC as well. But just as on the right hand side as well, this is not really going to delay Leary too much, right? To speak of. Only about a minute and 10 seconds left, guys, for you to get your predictions going. Option 1, Leary. Option 2, the Viper. There we go. Nice little trap over here from Leary. And the scout's going down from the Viper. Man, the plays. I don't think I have seen a series with so much micro nerdiness so far. The wall rushes, the gate traps. Damn. Viper kind of given, or actually, the Viper kind of getting a taste of his own medicine by Leary. Yeah, and the village is gonna be here for the Viper significantly later compared to Leary. Of course, his economy was not quite as good when he went for the militias earlier, right? It delayed him to the village, but he did manage to click up on a stronger economy. So now the Viper should be on his way to the castle age very soon. Leary is playing with Mayans over here, so his economy is quite strong as well, and he should be on his way to the Imperial Age very soon. To the castle age, sorry, very soon as well. There we go. Viper's getting the building he needs. The blacksmith over here already has an archer range. He's got an extra Eagle Scout coming out for vision. And should be on his way to the castle age. If he hadn't gone for the scout, he would have been able to click up a little bit earlier, but it's just going to be a delay of only about 5 seconds until he gets enough to click up anyway. Yeah. And now Leary is getting close to going up to the castle age himself. In a moment, he's got the blacksmith coming up. Mayans are the perfect counter to the Night Aztecs, their knights and Zolotos. Imagine, there wouldn't be a way for us to get to any of those things over here without having like Gaia stables perhaps. And even then, I don't think you can convert Gaia units, can you? With monks. Well, at the very least, I remember that to be the case from other maps from different tournaments. Usually you're not really able to do so, so rip. Guess it's gonna be here significantly earlier for the Viper though. It's got a 54-second lead or so against Leary. It's going over to the center, does not have too much stone to work with. Has not been collecting stone, while Leary, of course, playing with Mayans. He'll obviously want to get a castle up, and he's been collecting stone quite heavily himself as well, which also delays him to the castle age a little bit, but maybe the first player being able to go for a castle in front. Meanwhile, the Viper's got enough resources to go for a TC though, so we could see a TC over here in between both these golds to potentially prevent Leary from going for a castle himself, and indeed, the TC comes up right in between the golds. As a Viper, is looking great. Leary, not so much. Back home, just trying to get the walls up over here, and to keep the walls up, rather. And the Viper's not really putting too much pressure, but it's putting enough pressure to force Leary to react to this. And Castle Age is here for Leary. He's going for a defensive castle. He'll try to make the pull marcher play over here. He's gonna try and go for full raids. Like so, by the looks of it. There we go. When Townset comes up now, the Viper is going for a 30C on the back. Meanwhile, Leary's got vision of this. And back home, he's going for the second TC himself. Not to be the one to fall behind after realizing about Viper's second TC, but he doesn't really know about the center one though. At the very least, not yet. Taking a look at Leary's point of view, he can't really see too much. Just what the spearman gives him vision of, and that'll be about it. Hey, people are celebrating on the street. I just heard a car pass by, just honking. Like the Roadrunner. There to see on the way now for Leary as well. Yes, sir. The monastery is coming out for anybody. Nobody's gonna start collecting the relics yet. No late just yet, but I imagine people are probably going to gather downtown and try to celebrate. And I'm saying try to celebrate because the the heat over here is infernal. It's so hot. 34 degrees right now. Viper's collecting the relics, yes. He's got one more coming back home over here from up the north. He's been getting some good vision. He's got the monk down the south over here trying to find the rest of the relics. And it's gonna be fine. He's already been able to collect one. He's bringing another one over here into the mix. He's got another one over here in the back to potentially collect, and then this one also that is very much secured for the Viper as well. Heat, what's that? I'll give it to you. I'll trade. I'll trade bases with you. I don't care. You can take the heat. Would you enjoy 34 degrees? And it's not even freaking summer yet. Ah, man, I can see the 39-degree days coming up this summer. Gee. I'll take half that. Yeah, -1 there. Sounds so great. Fervor's coming in for the Viper. These monks. Let me take a look to see how many upgrades they have. So he's got Sanctity only so far, and now with Fervor that's going to bump his HP up to 55. Sanctity, Fervor, your two perennial monk upgrades for the Viper. Ideally he wants to go for any other upgrades that he can justify for extra HP. Shot it. Now Leary is getting very close to having enough stone to go for a second castle, and he's bringing some villagers forward. Yes. Yes, he is. He's bringing only 5 villagers, though. That is not a lot. Okay, he's bringing a few more. It's going to be 10. 10 villagers forward. Some of these... Actually, one of these is very low HP. The rest are going to be alright. I do okay with heat, as long as it's not too humid. As I've ever been, that is not a sauna, it's probably 45 and it was fine. Isn't the sauna supposed to be kind of humid? Or are you talking about a non-traditional hot stone sauna? Regardless though, here comes Theory. He's got a lot to work with. The Viper's got only a magnet over here, going down to the Eagle Scouts. Well played. Beautiful. Does Gold Rush have 6 or 7 tiles of gold to start? I believe it's 7. I believe it's 7. Yes, indeed. Here we go. And the counter castle coming up for the Vipers. Not coming up though! He's got a magnet coming out right now, providing some protection for his villagers, but this castle came up already for Leary, and the Viper will lose their villagers. He's got 5 left. This castle still quite the ways off. More than 20% left. The Viper's clicked out to the Imperial Age. He was hoping to get the castle up over here, so he would be the first player with access to trebuchets, but now, as things stand, the Viper is going out to the Imperial Age with the lower worker count after losing a lot of villagers over here in the last minute or so. And without a castle, he's gonna wait until he's got enough extra villagers coming out from the TC so that he can commit to this. Imp into what? He's gonna try to get a castle up and then imp into trebuchets, but he's trying to get more units out first. Yeah, there we go. He's gonna try and commit. And Leary doesn't seem to be paying attention too much over here, by the looks of it. So the Viper might actually be able to do this. Very good unit control. Well done. There we go. Yeah, and actually he's getting the castle up. Well done. Good unit control over here. The Viper timing the shots from the castle. What a game. I don't think I have ever seen a more micro near the game. What is this? Gate traps, dodging arrows from the castle, blocking villagers, wolf rushing. My lord. I'll tell you one thing though, it'll be extremely frustrating to be playing against either of these players when they play like this. I don't want to hear it. I don't want anything to do with anybody that does this. What do you mean with that, Kinji? He literally the workshop over here, yes. In the end, he ends up going for the castle on the right-hand side, but I think this is not most likely due to having more maneuver space over here. Perhaps. Extra barracks coming out. The Viper's just gonna make a full play for Eagles. Meanwhile, Leary's going for the petards already. The castle over here from the Viper is taking a lot of hits. Got the first trebuchet out though. It's not the worst if he loses the castle over here, so long as he's able to take the castle down from Leary as well. There we go, a conversion over here against the Plumed Archers. The Viper's holding on just fine. The Eagle Warriors are coming out, and now these Plumed Archers are getting pushed away. Meanwhile, the castle from Leary is going down, while the Viper's castle is staying up on top of the hill. This is huge. This gives the Vipers so much center control. It's gonna try to come in through the north as well. Doesn't seem like Leary's realizing about this, at the very least not on time. I don't see any villagers going over there trying to plug the hole and prevent the Eagles from coming in. Now the Viper's going after the next castle, of course. The Eagles banking mostly on Plumed Archers. Losing the castles is extremely tragic, of course, for the Bull player. And the Viper's destroyed the house. He can't come in right now. We'll see if he pays attention over here. Not too much, just banking on the trebuchets and trying to pay attention to the center to take the castle down first. And he'll be able to, but he needs to pay attention up in the north and take advantage of the hole. Come in and start putting pressure, right? Mangonels here, the Eagle Warriors there. 2 Mangonels from the Viper. Plus the Eagle Warriors. Then that is a huge, huge pushback from the Viper. He's taking on the Siege Workshop over here. He's taking the trebuchets. 400 resources down the drain over there. 800 resources down the drain for Leary. The Viper, as he goes after the final castle, will get GG out of Leary. As the Bull player calls it right there, the Viper is going to find himself 1 point away from the grand finals of Warlords. Taking on Leary. 3-1 so far. He's got 3 games left to go. The Viper needs 1 win. Leary can only take the series over here by getting 3 wins back to back. What a great position for the Viper. Going through the achievements one more time, we'll see. A very nice KD for Leary in the end. It's going to be a little bit better. The 9-8 for sure. But it doesn't matter too much. The Viper's gonna be stronger by a few thousand extra resources, so he might have lost 5 extra units, but of course he can more than offset for that with 3,200 extra resources, right? Society looking better for the Viper as well, for the most part. Kind of struggling to keep up with Leary for worker count, but in the end, his economy was still stronger, which is nothing short of amazing against Mayans. There we go. And there we are. We are trying to catch up. We're just playing the blue collar down the south. We're just going to go 2x. And the Viper playing the red collar up in the north. We have these civilizations we talked about already in the previous attempt. So, yeah, the players will go to the fuel age pretty quickly. So I don't think we need to go through that anymore. Right? We have 4 goats this time around for the Viper. Taking a look at Leary, we have 4 goats, so it seems to be alright, and he's been collecting llamas. He's got only 2 left, so I think he already took 2 on the Viper. Viper's got 3 llamas, so he took 1, and he's been pushing the deer. So he's taking the boars, he's pushing the deer, and yeah, the game is pretty stable. The Viper's going up on 18 population. This is going to be full on feudal boom for the Kuma player. Meanwhile, Leary, playing with Franks over here, is gonna try and make a play for scouts, of course. Can't even fast castle right now, so the Viper's looking a little bit better over here as the TC's coming up, and we are still going 2x. Trying to catch up. Remember, guys, a limited amount of time for you to get your predictions going, as we are finally catching up and going back to 1.6 playback speed. There we go. There's only 3 minutes and 20 seconds left for you guys to get the prediction going. And there we go, the TC just came out for the Viper as well. So long as he's able to produce from both these TCs, he should be able to start pulling a hit significantly. He's got to start going for some farms very soon, of course. He's already running out of the herdables over here, and he's going to have just berries for food, which will not suffice. Hey, more cars honking on the street. Nice. Nice wall over here from the Viper. He gets the villager in just in time, as he was threatening with the scouts. We see extra scouts coming in for Leary over here, and of course he's gonna go for that. He's gotta go for it. He's Franks. He's got 20% extra HP on these guys in the FOH for free already, so he's gotta try and take advantage of it. The Viper's alright. Leary's not even trying to harass snipe this villager, although he's gonna try and go back, and the Viper is just idling the TC a little bit over here, or idling the villagers a little bit, and Leary, yeah, it seems unlikely he'll be able to get a village down over here so long as the Viper's paying attention. Take a look at the walls that the Viper's going for. On the right-hand side, so good. Speaking of which, given the fact Leary's unlikely to achieve too much of anything with these scouts, especially because of the HP pool, let's take a look at the map generation. Starting with Leary. He's got the main goal forward. He's got the secondary goal forward very far away as well. And then the other secondary goal is going to be so forward too. Pretty similar to what we saw in the previous game as well, where this goal is not far enough forward that he'll be able to protect this and the wood line at the same time. Well, if we take a look at the map generation for the Viper instead... Oh! Wait a moment, one villager goes down for the Viper over there. Nice knife, Leary's going to get the first blood. And if we take a look at the red player's map generation over here, we'll see that he's got the main goal right next to the TC and on the back of the second TC. Meanwhile, this turn is going to be in between both the TCs as well, and then the other secondary goal. The secondary goal is going to be too far away, and the secondary stern is going to be too far away. This secondary goal also forward, but it's not too bad. And I'm liking the map generation for the Viper a little bit better, despite you know. And then on top of that, he's got the second TC. 20 seconds for the prediction contest to be over. You have option 1 Leary, option 2 the Viper. So far, very one-sided in favor of the Viper. And Leary's been able to get the first eco, first eco kill with the villager going down. The Viper is pulling a hidden villager count still though, but Leary's gonna be in the castle age very soon. The whole player civilization gets a discount on castles, so 25% cheaper castles. We could potentially see Leary try to collect some of the stone over there and go for a castle drop over here and try to make a play for full aggression, right? Alternatively, he can try and go for full knight production over here. So long as the Viper's in the field edge, he won't be able to defend against that too much. But Leary doesn't seem to be interested in that so far. At the very least, he's not really gotten scale bar the number yet. And there's another villager down from the Viper, sinking into the ground. There we go. Beautiful. Down the south. Well, Leary's got Siege Workshop coming up. So it's not going to be just Knights, but also some Siege, which I love to see. And the Viper. The Viper doesn't necessarily know about this. He does. He does know about the Siege Workshop in the end. He's got the walls up on the right hand side. He knows where to expect aggression. He knows from where to expect aggression. It's going to be coming over from the left hand side. Yeah, and he's getting his own stables up as he goes up to the Castle Age. And Leary's going for his second TC over here as well. But he'll play and just catch up until he's able to go for a third TC. He won't really be able to catch up to Viper's worker count. Still the Knights keep on roaming around from Leary though. If he plays his cards right over here, might be able to find the villager too. Just gotta be careful because without even scale bar than armor, the Spearman actually is still a very big threat. Although this would be for the most part just bonus damage that the Spearman will be working out of, as opposed to, you know, relying on the lack of armor upgrades for the Knights. But anyway, we have Pikeman for Leary. He's going after the TC and he's got a single mana. The second one is on the way, but still only aggressing with a single one. And the Viper, only 5 seconds away from the Castle Age, guys. Has not been collecting any stones, so won't be able to go for a castle, but will be able to start going for Knights or Camels himself, and he's got Camels on the way. It's not a unit that's going to scale too well for the Viper into the later stages of the game, but it's going to be the one that will prevent Leary from getting too much damage done with the Knights over here. And ideally we want to see a defensive Siege Workshop, and the Viper's going for one. He could have tried to go for one while he was on his way out to the Castle Age because of the bonus for Kumens. Couldn't do it, and now he's going for it now instead, which is not too bad at all. Oh, the Viper canceled the Camels. He's going for Step Lancers, guys. He's going for Step Lancers, and he's coming forward, and now he's gonna take on Leary over here. One village going down for the Bull player. He's going to win. We'll see another one, I think. Not quite. Swift reaction for the Bull player. End up in the north. The Viper's still taking a lot of heat over here. Does not have the resources to keep on repairing the TC. It's bringing his own defensive mangonel. While forward's gonna keep on trying to put pressure, but he cannot really do too much over here. And Leary's paying attention. Notice the T scatters and the TC, and then up in the north once again. We need a split view over here feature for capture so that we can show both places at the same time, but we're gonna have to make our choice, and that is the man gonna go and jump for the Viper. In proper unit control down the south. He's getting a villager though, so he loses a mangonel, potentially the TC. And he's only getting 2 villagers to show for it, so it's not great. However, even if Leary ended up getting 2 extra villagers compared to the Viper, red player is definitely the one on the lead over here, make no mistake. With 23 extra villagers and 2 extra villagers, it's not particularly close, but it's very, very difficult for the Viper to defend himself over here. He's got to fight the Knights off, and he doesn't have any Camels because he decided to go for Step Lancers, and now the Mountains are coming over, and take a look at the rain of rocks. If we have chemistry, this would be the rain of fire, but the Viper, all of a sudden, lost 16 villagers to Leary's Mango and Night Push over here while he was looking so strong. He is completely unable to defend himself any further, and Leary takes game number 5 to further catch up to the Viper with a current score of 3-2, still favoring the Norwegian. What a great play from Leary. Beautiful ground attacks over there. But a KD for Leary in the end, a little bit higher than 5-2. Meanwhile, for economy, a stronger economy For the Viper, understandably, but of course, a lot of that is just stuff that he utilized to go for the extra villagers and go for the second TC, so it's not a strong enough economy to actually pay off for the cost of the eco setup in the first place. Now let's change the color. And there we are. Game number 6 is here. Black Forest. Leaders on the right hand side playing with Lithuanians. The Vipers on the left hand side playing with Britons. We were expecting this to be the case. There we go. The walls do end up coming up, favoring Leary a little bit. But this is not really going to do too much for either player, really. It's just a little bit of extra space. Can make a big difference because you're going to have control of the choke point potentially. But yeah, once we start seeing onagers, for instance, it doesn't matter too much. Now the Viper doesn't seem to be going up to the north though. Meanwhile, Leary is. So Leary is going to control both these locations. Leary kinda has to go for it though, because if he doesn't wall this off, his goal is exposed. Meanwhile, the Viper's got all 4 goals really, really close to his CC. All 4 of these. 18 tiles. Meanwhile, over here for Leary, he has got 18 tiles too, but 3 of these are kind of far away, right? So if the Viper was putting pressure up in the north over here, and he was the one to get control, for instance, then that'll be 21 to 15 goals instead, which is much, much more one-sided, of course. Well, it's one-sided for starters. Buckle up, folks. This is gonna be a good one, but it's gonna take some time to be done. So, we'll know predictions. For 5 minutes still. Seems like nothing too game changing is going to happen within the next 5 minutes. So you go there. Yes. There we are on the right hand side. Yeah, Leary's getting the deer down. It's fine. There we go. Beautiful. Only about 4 minutes for you to get the predictions going. Let's talk about the civilizations while we wait. There isn't really much of a point on taking a look at the map generation. Both players will be able to take advantage of basically 100% of their economy. Except perhaps Leary of this gold up in the north, but that'll be about it. For the actual bonuses, starting with Leader Civilization, Lithuanians will get, first off, 150 extra food upon starting the game. On top of that, we'll see for them 10% fast movement skirm and spearline units. Besides that, the Lithuanians will get 1 extra attack on Knights and Light units per each relic garrison, up to 4 relics, and that brings us to the first interesting point over here, and that is the fact that we have a very even relic distribution on this map, and it's going to have 3 relics pretty much guaranteed for each player. So for instance, Leader's got 1 relic over here, it's got 1 relic over here as well, and then the other relics on the left hand side, and both of these are so close to the TC, and then the other one is on the back, so he's gonna have all 3 relics over here. If you get 2, you already compensate for not getting access to Blast Furnace with the civilization. And if you get 3, of course, that already gets you stronger units than what you would have gotten if you had gotten access to Blast Furnace. So it's a strong civilization for this map, for sure. And then for the team bonus, we'll see for Lithuanians, they get 20% faster work in monasteries. The Viper is playing with Britons, which means 1 and 2 extra range on foot archer units in the Castle and Imperial Ages respectively. Besides that, we'll see for Britons, a 50% wood discount on TC starting the Castle Age. 25% fast work in Shepherds, and then for the team bonus, 20% fast work in archer ranges. Britons are gonna be a force to be reckoned with. Now the Viper started to put some pressure up in the north. Won't really be able to do too much over here, and because they didn't really do much other than just going for the walls up in the north over here, it doesn't seem as if it matters that the Viper did not go for the walls at all, because in the end, ultimately, this is just going to be a little bit of extra either villager time for Leary early on when the villagers are not quite as numerous. So the Viper's fine. Viper's looking alright. Here we go, Castle Age is coming up now. What to expect? Not much of anything until we get to the Imperial Age, honestly. As soon as we get to the Castle Age, the players are going to start just going and dropping TCs. Leary ended up selling us some stone over there, or is he going for stone walls? I don't think I saw him go for stone walls. No, it's gotta be just that he sold some of the stone, right? Yes, he sold actually both stones over here. 200 stones to go up. Final 30 seconds for you to get the predictions going. Option 1, Leary. Option 2, the Viper. Lithuanians versus Britons. Leary with 3 relics, pretty much guaranteed. Viper with a strong civilization. Cheaper TCs in the Castle Age and going up a little bit quicker compared to Leary. Might actually be able to get ahead in villager count, we'll see. So last chance. By the time you hear this, the predictions are going to be off already anyway. They're going to be closed. The second and third TC on the way. Leary's got the scout over here inside Viper side of the map. And Leary, he is getting to the Castle Age in a moment, and he should be going for the extra TCs as well. He's sending the villagers over. So we're going to see the second TC coming up on the left-hand side right next to the woodlands, and the third TC coming up right next to the gold on the back. And very soon you can expect to see a 4 TC come up for both these players, potentially even 5 TCs come up. And as Leary was the first player to collect extra stone, he has already managed to collect enough to go for a 3rd TC. He's just not really going to have quite as much wood yet. And the Viper, of course, the Viper is going to start collecting some stone from this TC. He's going for buy the stone over here, so he doesn't really have the resource to go for it just yet. And at this point, of course, it's going to be very important for the players to start going for farms and try to get their economy up to snuff. Beautiful. So far, so good for both these guys. The Viper looking a little bit stronger though. 4TC is coming up for Leary now. The Viper, not just yet. Not just yet. Monk comes out. Beautiful, and now the Viper's got significantly more HP compared to Leary. Does the Viper know about the north side opening? Yes, Black Forest begins already scouted, or at the very least, already scouted. I guess it's explored, the technical term for it. It's already explored, but the players don't have active vision. Here we are. Really comes in. Beautiful. Leary already started to pull ahead in villager count with 2 extra villagers compared to the Viper. Viper's only now going for the 4th TC. And Leary, he's got 15 farms. Well, 3 of these are coming out, so that's going to be 16 farms in the end. 17. He's going for more, of course. And he's just run out of berries. Meanwhile, the Viper's still collecting some of the berries over here. He's got 14 farms. Remember, extra starting resources for Leary as well. So yeah, nobody's gonna be able to produce from all 4 TCs at the same time. But if you get the 4 TC up earlier and you get to, at any point in time, enough resources to queue from 4 TCs, that's already going to give you a little bit of an upper hand compared to a player who's got 3 TCs. Because the other player, if at any point in time they can queue 4 villages at a time, they're going to have 2 villagers or actually queued on a single TC. But it does come at a cost, of course, and it makes it pretty difficult for them to keep up with all of them right away. The leader's already been able to get a 3 villager lead, reducing down to 2. It's going to fluctuate between 2 and 4 extra villagers. We'll take a look at the gather economy time though. And we'll take a look at the upgrades as well. The Viper's looking a little bit stronger. He's going for wheelbarrow a little bit earlier, and he's got heavy plow already. Meanwhile, Leary has only gone for double bidex. 50C for the Viper, wow! And Leary's got a little bit of a stronger gather economy counter over here. No 50C coming up just yet. Interesting. Here we go. Well, does the Viper not wall the north side? He's going for it right now, but early on he basically just gave up on it because unless Leary was going to try to sneak and go for a field push or something, it's just wasting villager time. Leary sent the villager up in the north because the opening over here is so much farther away for the Viper compared to Leary. If you take a look at the distance between both these players and that side, right, we're going to see that the blue player is about this far away, while the red player, the red player will be so much farther away as well. On a straight line, yeah, you can see the difference. And this is obviously not really possible for the Viper to go for. So anyway.
Grayton?
Nice castle coming up for the Viper.
Ready.
Here we go. Oh, ambulance. What happened? Somebody celebrated too hard? The fireworks? Perhaps?
Yay.
Peerless coming out for Leary. The Viper is not quite there yet. Shouldn't take much longer for the Viper to click out to the Imperial Age, but Leary's looking pretty good. Looking pretty strong so far. Just normal Viper greed. It's part of his playstyle. Yeah, in a sense. There was always a risk. The Leary would have tried to sneak in with a villager, maybe tried to go for something, but the Viper had the scout, right? So long as he kept scouting around, he would have realized that if Leary had gone for something like that. So he basically deems it unworthy of his villager time early on, but then eventually, as he gets a stronger economy, and then a single villager moving up the north over here doesn't really represent quite as much of an impact, proportionally speaking, compared to his economy as a whole, then he sends a villager up in the north. And he's been able to stay ahead in villager count for the most part. The Viper's starting to go for some lombos. Second castle on the way. There's got only the first castle coming up right now. Once again, just asking, is the sound okay? Let me know if you can hear my voice just fine over here, if it's not too low. Should be just fine though, I think. Ideally, that is. Sounds fine? Thank you, thank you. T-Bot. Appreciate it. Everything's fine? Yes. Let's go. He's going for the third relic finally, so that's going to give him already 3 extra attack. A Knights and Lightshade units. He's been going for skirmishers. He's got a Trebuchet coming up. See Churkshaft's on the way as he gets to the Imperial Age. Chemistry on the way as well, potentially for Bombard Cannons, although against Britons doesn't seem like it's going to be the best unit choice. I think it's just going to be for the skirmishers for the most part, not so much for Bombard Cannons. Only thing that is not fine is that I have no clue which civilization should win this matchup. And it's very hard to tell because on Black Forest, you know what some of the stronger civilizations are, right? You know about Celts, Mongols, and you have Lithuanians, Britons, whatever. But that is for team games. When you are thinking of mixing and matching your units, your army compositions as a team, but for a 1v1, it's a lot harder to determine because a lot of things are going to be up in the air. Like, will the Britons over here manage to mash enough Lombos to prevent Leary from dominating with cavalry? And is Leary even going to go for cavalry at all, or is he just going to stick to skirmishers? After all, he does have units moving faster, right? The skirmishers. Spearliners, they do move faster. However, Leary, he is going right now for tower shield, so these guys will have extra armor as well. That's very good, but now the Viper with extra range. If he plays his cards right, on paper, he shouldn't really take any damage from the skirmishers. He should take the skirmishers down without losing the Lombos, but of course it's going to be extremely micro-intensive as well if he wants to do something like that, so instead we're going to need something else. Either a meat shield with cavalry, which isn't the best for Britons, and that's the thing, right? You do not have Britons and Lithuanians, so the Britons provide the Lombos and the Lithuanians provide the Lychai. You have just Britons versus the Lithuanians, so you have to counter the other player, and this is becomes a little bit more like Arena, except that there is the choke point factor over here, which can make a big difference, of course. Yeah, completely agree, the T-Bot. Second castle on the way now for Leary. Meanwhile, we have fourth castle already on the way for the Viper, increasing his production potential by 25% plus 33% rather. He's just finished researching humans, so these guys, even if they are not elite, they already have quite the range over here. 11 range. If you compare that to the skirmisher is going to have only 8 range. So the Viper is going to take these units down easily. He's going for elite Lombos right now. That's going to be 12 range. So outranging these guys by 50%. Check this out. Elite's coming up now. Viper's gotta be careful over there though. Big shots. And he's going after the bombard cannons right away. Now he's got Elite and he takes the bombard cannons down. And take a look at that range though. 50% longer range for Viper's units. But he's been struggling over here to take advantage of it. He's losing a lot of Lombos here. And Leary, because of the choke point control that we talked about at the very beginning, doesn't change too much at the very beginning, but in the later stages of the game, now he's got this Trebuchet very well protected. The Viper wouldn't be able to take this one down unless going for his own Trebuchets, or taking it down with Lombos as well, which is going to require him getting past the skirmishes, of course, and might not be too difficult of a task for the Viper, given that Leary is just going to pull all the skirmishes away from the choke point. And thus, the Trebuchet is going to be kind of exposed, and he's just trying to get the raids going over here. So far, Leary looking ahead for military, for the economy. Meanwhile, the Viper is going to end up losing a few units over here, but not too many. And he's making a play for Lone Stars over here. Could potentially make a play for Champions as well, but he's got to be careful. On paper, this should work, right, for the Viper. Champions and Lombos. Lombos will take care of everything that isn't skirmishers. And then the Champions, of course, are going to take care of all the trash units that Leary might potentially be able to go for. So here we see the army composition at work with a Lone Swords taking on the Skirmishers and the Lombos going after the Treasures, and over there the Viper commits and he takes the Trebuchet down. He pushes the Viper. He pushes Leary away over here. The red player. And then on the back, Leary's got the Skirmishers still putting pressure. The Lone Swords from the Viper were not strong enough, and he still does not have Lone's... actually, 2 on the Swordsman, sorry, but he's going for the upgrade now. Yes. So the meat shield we needed to see, but the red player is going to come in the form of infantry units, and I don't see what Leary will be able to do against that, though. He's going for chain barden armor, light cavalry, bloodlines, husbandry, and it seems like he's going to try and make a play for scoutline units. I mean, if all of these upgrades don't tell the story, then what does? But still, I am not convinced about this too much yet. We'll see. What's the best way for Leary to deal with longbowman range? Range? He can do anything about the range. He can go for skirmishers, which will be the counter unit the Leary's got available right now against the Lone Swords. Especially with these numbers, he cannot really do anything. If he goes for light chai, if he goes for light cavalry, the Lombos are already so numerous that they are just going to shred whatever comes their way and tries to close the gap. So it's gotta be skirmishers. The problem is that he needs something to deal with Viper's champions as well, and it's very difficult for him to find a unit that's going to... As a matter of fact, I don't think there's a unit that Leary can go for that's going to take on the champions, as the Viper's going for the champion upgrade right now, 1 minute away from it. That's going to take the champions without going down to the Lombos. The only thing that are going to take down champions will be cavalry, which he's going for. Well, Archer is an interesting choice, but it's going to be severely outranged by Lombos. And that's it. I mean, hand cannoneer are going to go down to Lombos as well. Once again, I just don't really see a way for Leary back into this one, which is very unfortunate. We're definitely allowed to see a full series, but the Viper seems to have a kind of an unstoppable army over here, so to say. Needs to get pop space to raid, distract the Viper. Yeah, there is always that. It doesn't matter if you have an unstoppable ball of units if you're just going to be completely out of position and dying everywhere else. So Leary could try to overwhelm the Viper, but that's much easier said than done for sure. And the Viper, he's got 4 treasures over here. He's gonna take the castle down. Leary's bringing the treasures over himself as well. He's gotta be careful. We see some of the units moving over the left-hand side as well. The champions. Halberdier and Lombos from the Viper. He should be fine. And I don't know if he's got Warwolf actually. He's got Warwolf. Guys, this is huge! Warwolf is going to make the trebuchets from the Viper so much deadlier. The castle goes down over here and then down the south. Notice that he's got 2 trebuchets. And there is no way for Leary to come over here without risking going down to the trebuchets, because take a look. These guys have area of effect range of 0.5 tiles. And check this out. Boom! Huge shot to the head. These are extremely long range bombard cannons, so to say, without the mobility, but even more effective as well, kind of like Hunitsa. Yeah, and there we go. So Leader's gonna try to go for it. Leader's gonna try to raid. And the Viper should be fine. He's got the Halberdier, right? Defend against the Hussar with... Oh, really quick wall though from the Viper! He's going to trap these! He's going to trap these as well! What a fantasy matchup we are seeing right now. So many masterpieces and fantasy plays over here from both these players throughout the series. The horses get trapped, their wings get pierced, and if you cut their wings, they cannot fly anymore. And the Viper's going to clean those units out. Leary going down to 187 pop. Incredible. What a great series, man. I'm just so hyped right now. Come on. How can you not be? There we go. Siege engineers on the way for the Vipers. Got hoarding coming up as well. Is there a time limit? No. Players can go for as long as they can, and the only limit over here is going to be the amount of wood in the map. More horses coming forward. The Viper's really unable though. He's kind of hurting for mobility though, that's the one thing he's struggling with, so he's getting the walls up over here. Oh, but it's open! It's open! The Viper almost traps the horses once again, but now the Winged are coming over straight to the back of Viper's economy, and the Viper should be able to hold on just fine still. Has plenty of castles over here. The TCs to potentially gather some villages in as well. We could see some quick walls come up over here, and the Viper, it seems like he's gonna be able to get away with it for the most part, right? What are the Halberdier? Winning a few, just not too many, just a few. And Leary's also going to struggle to keep track of his own units forward. If we have like 5 to 10 Halberdier over here, putting pressure against the raiding units from Leary. If Leary starts paying attention over here to prevent the Hussar from going down, then the Viper could potentially try and utilize that to put pressure elsewhere, so let's see. When is the final and will you be casting it? Of course, Theo! I'll be casting the entirety of Warlords, and the final will take place tomorrow. Starting 16 GMT. If I'm not mistaken, let me actually just take a look at this really quickly. Hold on. Okay. I'll need to take a look at the Wikipedia page though. I believe it's 16 GMT start time tomorrow as well. We're going to have the third place match, and then afterwards we're going to have the grand finals. I believe that's going to be best of 5 and best of 7 respectively. Hold on. Schedule. Yes, it's going to be starting 16 GMT tomorrow as well. And we're going to cast both the third place match, and we're going to cast the grand finals. It's Black Forest could still go to 2 AM I suppose, I think so. Interestingly enough, it's not been this map we have seen the longest games on. And by the way, nice long cut over here from Leary on the left hand side. He's trying to get with most of his army on the back of Viper's economy. Meanwhile, the Viper's realized about this. He's got an outpost. So he's bringing the Halberdier, and doesn't seem like Leary will be able to do too much over here. He's bringing the Trebuchets over as well as the Onager over there. And this could be a high risk engagement, but the Viper takes the Onager down before it becomes an issue at all. And by the way, it is indeed the case that the third place match is going to be a best of 5, but the grand final is going to be a best of 9 actually, which I'm not really sure what that means for the map pool, right? Because we have 7 map groups, so it works perfectly for a best of 7. Best of 9, wow, marathon. It's going to extend quite a lot. DC's going down from the Viper, still on 200 population. Leary, still on 200 population. The Viper is just going for 45 stonewalls up in the north, and doesn't seem to be putting pressure anywhere. Just playing defensive for the most part, and Leary's been the one putting pressure the most. Because the blue player's been going for Wing Hussar in skirmishers for the most part, he does not really bank on gold too much. And the gold has run out already for the Viper, for instance. Got only 2 gold miners left up in the north. Remember, we had 18 tiles of gold for each player, but if the Viper got a hold of this, that'd switch this over to 21 for the Viper and 15 for Leary. So Leary's got some gold over here still left, and the Viper's been going for the priciest army for the most part. The cavalry coming out right now for the Viper. It's not going to work against the Wing Hussar. Here we are. Beautiful. Yeah, and the Viper's got some halberdier over here, like covered down the south as well. Doesn't seem like he's gonna be able to come in. Leary knew about the units coming in from the Viper because he's the one who cut the path. Plus, of course, he's being targeted over here, so the Viper won't be able to do too much just yet. But we see a shift in momentum though, because Leary has been the one putting pressure for the most part. Now the Viper's the one starting to push. Down the south, he's got the light cavalry. The halberdier is going to clean this up and he's going to try to come in. Won't be able to, but he's going to try. And then up in the north, he is the one holding on over here and potentially pushing Leary back as well. So it's not just Leary raiding around the Viper and the Viper struggling to clean up the units from Leary anymore, but now it's actually a split engagement up in the north and down the south where the Viper is preventing Leary from coming in and might be able to start pushing him back over here. That's what the Viper's going to try to do, of course. He's going to try to get some momentum over here and try to suppress Leary. Defensive cast on the way for Leary as well, and the Winter Star get completely wiped out from Leary up in the north, but he does have one with which he takes on the villagers from the Viper, who won't be able to keep on going for this anymore, although he's still in the house over there to potentially send extra villagers, I would imagine. Yes, he is sending all the villagers over to the right-hand side, and this, man, this is just such a deadly sight. If you're on Leary's point of view over here, you see all the Lombos over here attacking, and it's just so effective from the Viper. Are you paying attention to the bear in the south? I wonder if that bear is alive. The bear in the south, I did not see any bear. I didn't see any bears over here. So probably it died already. Seems to be like it did. There is a bear. I didn't see it. Tiny south choke? Yeah, I'm not really sure. We'll take a look at it in a moment. Right now, though, he's coming in right away with the Winged Hussar. Straight into Viper's soft underbelly over here. I was looking at it. Okay. Yeah, I didn't spot it, sorry. Obviously, focusing on the important things. Yeah. I know. The Viper's got some momentum over here, but then he's also taking a lot of heat on the back over here. He's got enough resources to keep on going for more Lombos for a while, though. Not too much in terms of halberdier production, however. Bare necessities. We'll take a look at it in a moment after Leary's push over here gets cleaned up. We have the halberdier from the Viper chasing over here, so we should see the Winter Star go down. Launcher goes down over here as well for Leary. Did we just miss a C4 dead Trevs and 2 cannons? There is a lot of units going down over here at all times. Leary is definitely the one to struggle the most over here for sure. As the Viper's got more military population right now compared to Leary by quite a lot. Unfortunately for the Viper though, he doesn't really have a strong enough economy to go for quite as many units as he needs to stay 200 population, while Leary on the other hand, he's got about 26, 25 Winged Hussar queued up, and he's got enough resources to go for about 40 more as well, so it's not too bad. Where's that bear? I do not see it right now. Yeah, I have no idea. I have no idea. I don't see. Oh, right there. Okay, never mind. I see it now. It's alive. Yes. It's probably what prevented Leary from getting that building up as well. And over here on the back, we do see Trebuchets go down from the Viper. It's going to be only 1 by the looks of it. He still has 7 left. And remember, because the Viper, he's got Werewolf, the Civilization is going to have Trebuchets that kind of work like Hubnitsa for the splash radius. Can do so much damage. Here we go. Trish is coming in once again. It's gonna try and go after the skirmishers here. Yeah, the Viper's got enough resources to keep on going for Lombos in any case. It's still going to be pretty good. He just needs enough, either champion or like cavalry as a meat shield against the skirmishers. That's the one thing that can't stop the Viper's push. But so long as he keeps the champion coming up, then he should be in a good spot. Now we'll see the trebuchets go down over there though. 800 resource down the drain for the Viper. Still the only player with access to gold. Not for very long though. Only about 500 gold left over there. But he's got well over 6,000 gold. So it doesn't seem to me like it's going to matter too much. Plus, a great thing for the Viper here, a great thing for the Viper compared to Leary, is that his gold units that he's going for, Lombos over here, and Champion are so much cheaper than the gold units that Leary would want to go for. So the Viper, having 3 relics over here, might actually be able to sustain Minotaur production even after he runs out of the current gold resource that he's got. Meanwhile, Leary on the other hand, not so much. He's going for Hussar only, of course, which is good. But whatever gold units Lithuanians would want to go for will be significantly pricier compared to the Viper's units. So overall, the red player is still looking better for a later stage of the game in that regard. Lombos and Champions will take down the Hussar. Of course, we could see Halberdier coming up as well, which will take down the Hussar. And we'll see the Viper trying to land the shots against the Hussar over there. Not going to be able to, so we're going to see more trebuchets going down over there. As now Leary is trying to ignore the Lombos and just going after the trebuchets. He will take one down for sure. Might actually end up taking another one. Not quite. The grinder here, the shred machine from the Viper takes the Hussar down. Only one trebuchet went down over there. And hundreds upon hundreds of resources down the drain for Leary. But of course, he can't afford this. He's got 75 good workers, 75 farmers. And the Viper is struggling for population. But Leary's struggling even more so. 185 versus 180 for the Viper and Leary. The Viper's got the champion over here. Such a strong meat shield. It's going to Bale over here. Respect. There is Hussar. We see some light cavalry coming up, and the Viper gets to 200 population again. Leary, not so much. Not just yet. There we go. Viper still looking strong. Taking the castle down over here. Leary's got some trebuchets he cannot really make use of. At the very least against Britain Trebs. It'd be suicidal for him to try and engage into a Treb war, of course, so he doesn't really have a use for those units. Actually taking kind of population space now. You wouldn't want to delete 6 trebuchets, I'll tell you that much though. It's going to be 24 resources. 2400 resources down the drain for sure. So you wouldn't want to delete those, but yeah, right now Leary's struggling big time, guys. 160 population for Leary. And dropping while the Viper is pushing the Hussar away over here. It just looked so much better for Leary over here, the engagement, because of the units being larger and appearing visually more voluminous. But the Viper actually ended up getting a much better trade over there. And his army did not look visually as large, but he had the numbers he needed. He ended up pushing Leary. And all of a sudden, the Viper and 200 population close in the gap over here against Leary. who's struggling to stay above 160 population. might end up getting completely knocked down with the Viper. He's got great momentum. What do we have for Leary to defend himself? Got 2 castles. Do not really provide too much protection to his economy. Viper keeps on moving forward over here. Would ideally like to see the red players send some villagers forward and try to get some extra buildings up forward, because now the travel time, the travel distance over here for Unity trains is great. And you could reduce it greatly, of course, if you went for some forward buildings for sure. But guys, it's not looking the best for Leary right now. Viper's going to clean this up for sure, and as Leary finally gets past 160 population, he drops down almost immediately as well. And the Viper keeps momentum over here, keeps the units, keeps 200 pop. Will take the castle down as well, leaving Leary on only 1 fortification to defend himself with. Then the rest is just going to be TCs, which of course will not really get Leary much in terms of protection at all. In 140 pop! Leary drops too low. He knows he cannot keep on going, and the Viper knocks Leary out of the semifinals over here with a final score of 4-2. Moving on to the grand finals, while Leary goes down swinging, as is usually the case in these playoff stages, but cannot keep up with the snake. Not in this tournament, not today. Close to 3-2 KD ratio for the Viper. Stronger economy for Leary by a lot, about 13,000 extra resources, which makes sense. He did have the highest worker count for the majority of the game over here. Didn't matter? No, because Viper's units and the trades over here were so cost effective. A little bit higher APM for Leary. In the end, does not matter over here. At the very least, not enough to take this game from the Viper. So it's going to be final score of the Viper 4, Leary 2. Let's go back.